Hello, my friends, and welcome to This Simple Sober Life. I am Joshua, and I help others make simple changes to create a life of awesome. Happy Tuesday, my friends. I'm so excited to have you here with me. Real quick, if you haven't yet done so, please make sure to subscribe to this channel and hit that bell when you subscribe so you get notified each time I create a video. Also, make sure to check me out on Facebook and Instagram. There is a bunch of information there and some support and inspiration to help you reach your goals in sobriety. Well, I just got off work and you may or may not be able to tell, it is downpouring outside. You know, it started off as, it wasn't a heavy rain, but it was, huge drops of rain like coming down. And so we get off at 4:30, and as we were coming out, that's when the rain just started coming down in gushes. It was crazy. And right before I left, I got in the combo lift, which is it's like a huge forklift. And the difference is it not only does it go forward and backwards, but it also goes sideways to pull in big beams and things like that through smaller spaces. Well, as soon as I got in, a lightning bolt struck like 30 yards away, and it went kaboom! And I nearly pooped myself. I nearly pooped myself right there in the combo lift. It was so scary. I'd only seen that happen one other time, and I was with Luna, and now poor little thing, is scared of thunder. So I ran out. I didn't actually even run. I walked out to the car because at work we don't have air conditioning. It is, in a very hot warehouse type environment. I'm hauling steel plates around all day, so I'm sweltering during the day. And now we have to wear masks at all times. So that just builds the heat in. And it was so refreshing being able to step out that door and feel the light, cool drops. Now, by the time I got to the car, I was soaking wet. I was absolutely soaking wet. My windows were all sorts of fogged up because it was so hot in the car. So I just sit there and kind of let the temperature even out a little bit with my windows open, because the air conditioner, I think you all know about my car by now. Air conditioner is hardly a thing. But on the way home, it just started raining heavier and heavier and heavier and heavier, and cars were having to pull over. And I'm like, oh, I can make it. Because I literally live about, it's about 6 miles from home. Or from work. So, it only takes 15 minutes tops. And so I kept creeping along. I was traveling down the road at like 30 miles an hour. But made it home safe and sound, soaking wet. Haven't even showered yet because it's thundering and lightning out. And I was not aware of the fact that you shouldn't shower during a thunderstorm. I came home and talked to Katie, and she's like, yeah, I wouldn't shower right now. In fact, the news said don't shower or take baths right now. I didn't know that, it would come up through the pipes or anything like that. Kind of makes sense. But anyway, my friends, I hope you're having a fantastic Tuesday. I have to keep reminding myself what day it is. I just started back to work yesterday after having been off for 2 weeks waiting on the COVID-19 test results, negative. So, I'm back in full swing. And I gotta tell you, having 2 weeks off and then having to go back was rough. I went into my area and it was a complete and utter disaster. There was hardly anywhere to any room to walk. my desk had been moved all the way on the other side of the shop and backed into a corner. And there are pallets of steel plates everywhere. And I'm someone who likes my space. I like to have room, and I get a little claustrophobic and a little anxious when, I'm kind of confined in tight spaces like that. And it was so devastating when I got back, because I had left it, how I like it. There was room to walk, there was plenty of of space, and now things are just strewn across the entire shop. Everything's a mess, and none of the paperwork that I normally take care of was kept in order while I was gone. Everything is just crazy, and so it's going to take all week to try and get that back to normal. But I'm negative for the COVID. I have a great place to live. I have a car that actually starts right now, at least for the time being. And I have accomplished 2 great milestones by completing my book and by finishing my coursework for software development. So there are wonderful things on the horizon. This is still just a temporary situation. So I need, some good thunder out there. So I just need to keep that in my mind. This is temporary. This is not my long-term career. And, better things are on the horizon. So I got a message this morning on Facebook, and I thought it was interesting. It was from someone who follows the Simple Sober Life page, and they asked me a question. They're like, "Hey, sweet girl, hey, come on up. Come on, baby. See, my sweet girl she's not too happy. Come on up. Come on, baby girl. Come on, up. Come on, sweetheart. Up. Come on. There you go, sweet girl. Yeah. Poor little thing. Anyway, so I get this message on Facebook, and it was a guy who follows the page, and he just asked me, he's like, let me ask you, what's different about this time around? And I thought it was an interesting question, and definitely one that I have, asked myself on numerous occasions. As you may or may not know, this is not my first rodeo in working on getting and staying sober. I have had a couple of different periods in my life where, I was walking the straight and narrow and doing everything that I needed to do. I had a period of sobriety that lasted 2 years, another one that lasted a year, another one that lasted, a couple of months, and it's just been very sporadic. And, that question weighs on my mind quite frequently. But I've definitely every time it's popped in my head, I've given it some sort of thought. And the best thing that I can come up with is I'm not doing it this time to appease others. And that's one reason. And then the second reason is I have found a purpose to stay sober. So with the first point of, this isn't just a way to get people off my back. The first time I got sober, it was really just a way. I was living with my parents at the time. And I had just gotten a DUI, and I was in the doghouse, especially with my mom. She had come to her wit's end, understandably. And, I had joined AA and gotten sober and stayed sober primarily to get her off of my back, just to appease her, and you know, kind of calm those rough waters. And then the next time I got sober, I was on the verge of losing a relationship. My ex, Ryan, and I were together for a couple of years. Actually, was it a couple of years? No, I think we'd still been together less than a year. And you know, I had started drinking, and then I went quickly down a black path, or a dark place. And for the first time, I had started getting emotionally and sometimes physically violent. And he broke up with me, and so that was kind of a wake-up call. And I think my main reason for getting sober at that time was so that I could, recoup that relationship. He was, well, I hate to say it, but the breadwinner, and I kind of relied on him at that time for financial support. That wasn't the only reason, but that was a big part of it. And then, that was the second time that I really got sober. And then this is probably the third major time. I don't have anyone this time to appease. My relationship with Ryan has long been over. I'm not living with my parents, and they're, 1,200 miles away or whatever. So it doesn't really matter. And so this time I'm doing it for me. I had come to such a point where I literally didn't care if I lived or died. And so I got sober when I had to go off to jail. And when I got out this last time, I had a choice to make. I could either continue down the path that I was on and be homeless and ultimately die a drunkard, or I could turn my life around and start living or start working towards the potential I knew I had inside of me. And so fortunately, I made the latter choice. I made the decision because I could very easily have, just as soon as I walked out of the doors of jail, gone and bought a bottle of wine or something, a bottle of vodka, preferably. But I didn't, and I made that choice. Let's see here. And it actually happened before. I had gotten out of jail, and I immediately went to the liquor store the time before. This time I wanted it to be different. And then the second reason I believe that this time is different than any other time before is because I have actually found a purpose that I'm passionate about. And the only way that I can accomplish that purpose is by staying sober. And I believe that purpose is to help others in sobriety reach what they deem as their life of awesome. And I do that by educating people in finance, in relationships, in employment, spirituality, and health. Those are 5 areas that I'm very passionate about, and I know quite a bit about. Pardon me. And so helping people who have overcome the hurdle of getting sober and then are now kind of in a state of, now what do I do? Because that's something that, I've experienced in my life. I've gotten sober and I'm like, okay, now what? I spent so much time drinking. What do I do now? Well, and the AA answer is, well, you can do anything. Yeah, but that doesn't give me much direction. I believe that everyone has a purpose within them. And if I can help those in sobriety find that purpose and help them work towards achieving it, then my life is pretty awesome. And that, to me, is worth staying sober for. Anyway, my friends, I hope you're having a fantastic day. I would love to hear your insight down below. If you've tried to get sober before and have, failed and are now on a new path of sobriety, what's different? What changed? And what makes this this journey unique? Comment down below. Also give this video a big old thumbs up and subscribe. Hit that bell when you subscribe so you get notified each time I create a video. And until next time, Luna and I say cheers. Take care, my friends.